What's being done to fix Eugene's homeless problem? Last week, a panhandling ordinance was rejected by city councilors by a vote of 6-2, and that made a lot of people angry, all right? In my special report, I sat down with Eugene Mayor Lucy Vinis to talk about solutions for our homeless crisis.
It seems Eugene's homeless are everywhere you look. The endless complaints about the homeless downtown, blocking sidewalks and intimidating customers. Police tell them to move along, only making them somebody else's problem, and complaints about what they leave behind. All the damage and cleanup of hazardous materials, waste, and drugs is costing taxpayers millions of dollars. And many wonder, does Eugene have a solution?
You know, it's not overnight. It's not overnight.
Mayor Lucy Vinis says people need to know the problem didn't develop overnight either. She says the homeless problem was nearly as bad 10 years ago, but few noticed.
Now it is very visible. So now I think because it is so visible, the public is saying we need solutions.
Solutions, she says, that won't push it to the next neighborhood or another town. Seattle, Portland, Salem, cities along I-5 and beyond are fighting homeless issues. She says it was topic #1 during last summer's U.S. Conference of Mayors in Boston.
At least half of the sessions at the U.S. Conference of Mayors were about housing and homelessness. Everybody was struggling with it.
And here's why. She says during the 2009 recession, the Obama administration invested in stimulus funds and dedicated money for homelessness prevention and sheltering people. But those funds went away, and investments that made a difference dried up. She says a booming economy and low unemployment by itself won't fix it.
So it's not just jobs.
It's not just jobs. It is, you know, several decades of really investing less and less in housing and urban development, so less money going to affordable housing options, decades of less investment in mental health and addiction treatment.
She says solving the problem will require investing. 2 years ago, Eugene's City Council dedicated $1 million to fund the creation of a publicly owned homeless shelter and commit to partnering with the county to assess all services dedicated to homelessness. That report was done by Technical Assistance Collaborative, or TAC, out of Boston. It provided information about system-wide gaps and needs, as well as actions and investments to help fill the gaps and make the overall system more effective.
So, is the problem going to get better before it gets worse, or worse before it gets better? I guess I fear that it's going to get worse before it gets better.
I think the challenge is how quickly can we roll out some of these enhancements to the program that are recommended through the Technical Advisory Collaborative report.
That will require inspecting Opportunity Village, the rest stops, the Egan warming centers, and car camping programs, some of which are stopgap measures.
So how do we make all of those sort of stopgap measures integrate more sensibly into an overall delivery of service that really just gets people off the streets? That's where we're going.
Also helping, a one-time approval of $8.6 million in community safety funds. The money added officers and 911 services, continuation of community court, a day center for the homeless, youth services, and more. In May, city councilors will discuss ways to establish sustainable funding for the community safety system. She says that, combined with more efficient homeless services, will begin to pay dividends, and then you'll see a difference.
18 months from now, after 18 months of the community safety investment and 18 months of movement on TAC, it will look and feel different in this town, and it will be better.
The alternative scares her. She says walking around Eugene, not many people know who she is.
So I'm not targeted, but I will say that whenever I canvass, whenever I am in any setting whatsoever, and people do know who I am, this is the first thing they talk about. It is on everybody's mind.
And while she's not tired of talking about homelessness, she's tired of not having an answer.
I worry about this a lot. And I worry both about the people who are unsheltered when we had the deluge of rain and they're out there in the wet and the cold, and I worry about them. And I worry about the business owners who feel that they can't stay in business or that their business is jeopardized because of the foot traffic or the campers. I worry about that.
She wants answers for the public and even police so they can approach illegal campers or a person discouraging customers downtown and be able to say, you can't be here, you need to be there.
And we have to create that spot.
Where the homeless can go and allow others to explore what the city has to offer and feel safe while doing it.
You know, one of the tragedies right now is we invest all this money and have invested money in our public parks and our bike paths, and there are neighborhoods that feel that they can't use the park, they can't get on the bike path because they don't know if they're going to be surprised by someone threatening them or feeling threatening. So that's what we want to fix.
Now, getting back to the Technical Assistance Collaborative report, the TAC report that identified gaps in the city's homeless services and recommendations to fix them, I've posted a link to the report on our website at KEZI.com. And by the way, I did ask Mayor Vinis how she would have voted if council was deadlocked 4-4 on the panhandling ordinance. She says she would have voted no.